Morning, everyone. My name is Stephen Reyes, and this is my pre-service learning presentation reflection. I had the opportunity to be in Riverway Elementary with Mrs. A. I want to call her Mrs. A. She has a kindergarten classroom, and I was glad to see that a lot of the things that we're learning in my classes are applied and relevant in the classroom. For example, we learned about cues. The cue is like a way to transition, from one activity to another. One of the cues that she did was, eyes and hands. So what that means is she would go eyes and hands, and then the students, they would repeat it. They would repeat it and, mirror the actions. So I think that was a good way to kind of like transition from one activity to another. And then another cue that she had was when I first started observing, they were doing personal narratives, and that's what she said too. She was telling the students, it's a personal narrative, which I think was awesome, because they're like kindergarten, they're already learning these words, personal narrative. But anyway, sometimes a student would write, like they were writing about pumpkin patches. Sometimes a student would write, I went to the pumpkin patch. And then that's good and all, but it's a personal narrative. So she would ask them, she had another cue, personal narrative, tell me more. And so the students would go on to write, like about like the pumpkin color or like about the weather. But I was paired up with a student. I'm gonna call him John. Um, he we worked together. It was a little difficult. He was a little bit squirrely, but he did good. Let me see if I get this to work. There it goes. So the first activity we did was a heart map. So a heart map is, it's like obviously it's a heart and you fill it with drawings of things that you love. So you can see he kind of drew like at the top left, it looks like a kitchen table, and in the bottom, like in the middle, that's his bed. And he was telling me about like all of his Nerf guns in there. Bottom right is him in karate. So John, he had a great vocabulary and he was like very aware. He would repeat things that the teacher would say in like the correct context. So, like while he was drawing this, he was like, I need to go into more detail, which, as I think was awesome, hearing from a kindergartner. He's very imaginative too, as you can see in his drawings. This next one here, I think he was like drawing a monster, or he had some kind of narrative for that. He was also very outgoing. He wasn't shy at all. There was one incident, we were trying to like learn about turkey facts, and I'll show you that in the next slide. And he was asking me how to spell turkey. And we were, I was trying to stretch it out, like, turkey, but I wasn't doing it right. Now in retrospect, I was supposed to go turkey. But anyway, after like the sixth time, he just looks at me and he's like, just tell me how to spell it. So, you know, I, like I said, he was like very outgoing, but also he was also like really distracted, like super easily distracted. While we were working, he would get up and he would say, I want to show my friend this, and like, it's like that's fine, but like every like 2 or 3 seconds, it was like inconducive to getting like the activities done. And then also along with that, I noticed that he would like a lot of his assignments were like half done. And then his handwriting too. I'll show his handwriting in the next slide. But his handwriting, is a little squirrely. It's like, he's a kindergartner. And he also had a tendency to try to multitask, which, is fine. It's fine. But the thing about his multitasking was because I would come in and he would have classwork and I'd have an activity. And then I would feel bad myself because I wanted to get my activity done, but classwork is important. So he would try to like multitask, and it just wouldn't work out for both of us. So I would just tell him, finish your schoolwork first, and then we'll have fun. So this is like I was saying, this is an example of his handwriting. Um, you can see like he kind of writes out of the box, but all the you can see like the words and like the letters are kind of they're still formative. And then after that, because I didn't want to like overwhelm him with so many like things to do. So like the last activity that we did was a like a found poem. And because it's kind of hard to describe like a poem, like how to write a poem to a kid, especially a found poem, we just kind of made a collage. And so I just told him, a collage is like, you cut up pictures of your favorite things and glue them on a piece of paper. And he really loved that. He got super into it, and he was like super proud. I could tell he was proud to explain like what a collage was because like every other second, it's a big classroom, and we're working together where we have scissors and stuff. Every 5 seconds a student would come up and, oh, what are you doing? Can I do it? And then he would explain to them like what a collage was. He would say that it's when you cut up pictures and put them on to make art. He was like super proud that he knew that. So at the end of all this, I think this was like a really enriching experience. It was super fun, also informative too. It's not completely fun, it was informative. And I think it was a good glimpse into like what a classroom is like. Anyway, thank you for watching my video. You guys please have a nice day.